On display this month in the East Brunswick Library is an exhibit by the New Jersey Antique Radio Club on the history of radio. Members Ray Chase and Harry Clancer spoke with us about the exhibit.
Ray, tell us a little bit about the exhibit here.
The exhibit we've shown here, we're trying to show something about the history of radio, what happened when it became common in the home, and its influence that it had in the home up until, say, the 1960s or 70s. So we've selected samples from various eras, subject to space limitations, but we've tried to show radios that started with 1920 and up through the 1960s.
What would you say the influence of radio was in the home initially? Well,
prior to radio, the average person only got news from a newspaper, and of course you had to be able to read. But when radio came in, it became an entertainment and news center. Now people could just sit there in their home and listen to news, listen to weather reports, emergency broadcasts, and primarily entertainment and music. So it had a big influence.
Harry, what was the influence of this particular area on the development of radio?
Well, New Jersey is really the center of what was the largest development area of radio over the years, from New York and including New Jersey and in Philadelphia. In fact, two of the largest manufacturers of the 20s and 30s, Atwater, Kent, and Philco, were in Philadelphia, right on our southern border. New Jersey itself had, I think Ray at one count had something like 65 radio manufacturers in the 1920s. Also, some of the major inventors related to the early days, even before radio, including Samuel Morse, and during the time of radio, Alan Hazeltine, for example, were in New Jersey. So it was really, a hotbed of radio development during the introductory days of radio.
Plus many suppliers, vacuum tube manufacturers, hundreds of vacuum tube manufacturers scattered through Newark, and of course the major vacuum tube manufacturer was RCA in Harrison, New Jersey.
Is there a particular turning point in the development of radio that's illustrated by something in the case here?
There's quite a few, but probably 1920 was the first turning point, because radio existed from the 1900s up to 1920, but primarily point to point, wireless to ships at sea and whatever. But broadcasting started in 1920 from KDKA in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and then it was the 1920s was wild. There was all of a sudden radio took off. So 1920s, and we have some of the radios from the 20s. Thousands of manufacturers sprung up in garages all over the country.
Now, I remember the transistor radios. Can you say anything about those, Harry?
Well, first of all, the transistor was invented in New Jersey, at Murray Hill, New Jersey in 1948. And, it really formed is the foundation of all modern electronics. And we have a bit of our display that kind of points that out. If it were not for the invention of the transistor, as I said, in New Jersey, you wouldn't have modern electronics. You wouldn't have this handheld microphone. You wouldn't have this camera. So it really is, the major turning point as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm. Ray, tell us about the New Jersey Antique Radio Club.
Well, we just celebrated our 20th anniversary, and we started kind of surreptitiously in Freehold, New Jersey. People got together. People who were interested in collecting, restoring, learning about early radio. We currently have about 200 members. We from all over the state and Pennsylvania and New York. We meet monthly. either at Princeton University or the InfoAge campus in Wall, New Jersey. We publish a monthly newsletter. We have usually 4 radio clinics where we help people repair radios annually. And we do displays and talks and whatever. We just like old radios.
Yeah, so tell me about that a little bit. What is it that fascinates you so about old radios?
Well, many of us grew up in that era. We listened to the radios. We got used to them. We liked them, and we liked the look of them. Many people now just like the look of them. Probably half our members are technically qualified, and the other half just like radios to listen to or look at. So it's like old cars. We like old radios.
Yeah, they're really works of art. Tell us about what you'll talk about at the talk on February 21st here at the library.
All right, we're going to, in addition to talking about the history of radio, we're going to talk a little bit more about how radio grew up in the state of New Jersey and the metropolitan areas of New York and Philadelphia. Many people don't know the rich history of the development of radio in this area, so we're going to talk a lot about that in addition to just talking about radios, and we will be actually broadcasting through radios during the talk.
And Harry, can you tell us how people can get more information about the club?
Well, we have a website, which is njarc.org, which is our primary website. And then we also, by the way, have a museum, radio technology museum, at InfoAge in Wall Township. And the InfoAge website is InfoAge, INFOAGE.org. And you can get information about us from either of those sources.